Once every century, the lush and deeply green forests and plains of the outer world granutary will experience a phenomena. The world, by the Imperium standards, was always a short hop through space from Kiavar, formerly known as Lycaeus. It was and still is known by the 19th Legion as the bastard child of Catachan, and the bane of any governmental body as a weed that always seems to regrown in the damnedest of ways. 1 century a bombardment of flaming pyrocyclonic shells meant to expose its vast mining resources was thought to have left it habitable for low-level servitors and mining teams. Their purpose was to quickly and efficiently ship the minerals back to the middle of the sector for further use among the Imperium. The multiple calls and eventual screams for help and aid were quickly overshadowed by radio silence that spoke just as loud as their former. It was not long after that a squadron of Raven Guard were sent to oversee the mining operation, and if needed, defend the men, women, and machine to ensure that the steady supply of precious cargo unhindered. Racoss, the lieutenant put in charge of the operation, let out a slow sigh as he watched from atop his watchtower known only as the Crow's Nest. The servitor, more specifically Servitor number 3313 Exedra, not 377 meters down a dry riverbed, sent out a hazard pager to command that not 1 but 2 of their diamond plasteel-tipped drills had faltered and were in need of replacement. Racoss, who normally would have sent out an equally brain-dead servitor to do the job post-haste, found that doing so would have meant he couldn't use his ornate jump pack to do it 3 times as fast. At this, he donned his Mark VI helmet over his pale skin and was off. The burnt stumps of trees and roasted glade left nothing to the imagination, and while he would prefer to fly amongst the trees, as he had once done during his scout years, he knew better than that when it came to granutary. A few moments later, and he was behind the defective servitor with tools in hand, ready to administer them quickly and quietly. The servitor, who in life probably would have been some type of dock worker or prison guard, bulged with tattooed back muscles that would give a Bulgran a run for their money. However, as soon as Racoss reached over to pull up his arms up, he noticed that the pulse that ran down the neck of the servitor was flat and without movement. Racoss immediately drew his long blade sheathed at his thigh in time to deflect a spear-like shard of wood that exploded out of the ground, skewering the servitor and one of the bone charms attached to his pauldron. With a clicking hiss, his jump pack ignited to life and sent Racoss into a spiraling aileron flip. This one was fast, he thought, as the spear, which had extended 7 feet out of the ground, raced toward Racoss like a shark fin through murky water. 30 milliseconds later, and he had his silenced bolt pistol out, bucking shots into the rocky, scorched riverbed at the base of the wood spearfin. 2 shots were let out before the creature beneath played its hand. Its body, armored in a bark-like plate, exploded out of the ground, sending smooth river rock flying. Bright orange eyes dominated a smooth, mouthless face in an expression of hate-filled fury. Racoss, however, liked that fury, as the eyes were clear targets at night, and still released a glow when mounted above a fireplace or hearth. The creature made large, sweeping strikes, aimed not at killing, but setting off balance their foe. Someone who was prone on the ground was far easier at stabbing than a standing opponent, and these earthen ancients were wise to that. Racoss made slight fluctuations with his jump pack's throttle set on a random timer to better confuse his combatants. He, of course, would get a visual ping before each one, allowing him to always brace for its inevitable kick-push. 1 loud red ping later, and he was above it, unloading the rest of his magazine into its back, only to rotate at frightening speed. 1 reload later, and the plated chest of the creature opened up with loud protesting to expose a muscled missile box. The sound of the projectiles sent the nostalgic noise of snapping bones as wooden splinters shot out at frightening speed. Shit was all Racoss could utter before he was propelled down into a swooping arc aimed straight at the exposed organs surrounded by wood barrels that this creature harbored. At this height, all he could manage was terminal velocity, but that was enough. Red-hot pain shot up his elbow and abdomen as he knew some of the missiles found purchase. However, speed is speed, and the slamming noise of his entire 7 feet of power armor gave a strong impression that whatever internal mechanisms this creature had were now a fine paste. The feeling of sharp pain in his upper chest meant a broken clavicle, and his chin will be bruised for at least 5-day cycles, but the creature did not move from its crater. As he rose to his feet, all he could do was sigh.